The instance that we talked about this morning when Jesus was called to task for what the Pharisees and the leaders of the people considered to be a violation of the Sabbath day was certainly not the only time that they accused him of that. Jesus was, in my opinion, more than willing to do things on the Sabbath day that might have been just as easily done on the first day of the week or on the sixth day of the week, but he chose to do them on the Sabbath because it got the attention of the people, and particularly caused that kind of rub with the leadership. He knew what to say and what to do to move along this fight that he had with the Pharisees and the leader of the people. I want to read to you from Mark chapter 3. This is right after the passage that Bentley read for us this morning. It says, he entered the synagogue again, and there was a man there who had a withered hand. So they watched him closely to see whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day so that they might accuse him. He said to the man who had the withered hand, "Step forward." Then he said to him, "Is it lawful on the Sabbath to do good or to do evil, to save life or to kill?" But they kept silent. He looked around at them again with anger. He was grieved by the hardness of their hearts. And he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored as whole as the other. Then the Pharisees went out and immediately began to plot with the Herodians to see how they might be able to destroy him. Can you imagine how stone cold heartless you would have to be to have a fella in your synagogue who had a withered hand and you've known him all your life and you felt sorry for him for years, and then Jesus heals him and all you see is that he did it on the Sabbath day. In the Gospel of John, there's two different occasions of healings. The first one is that man that was laying beside the pool at Bethesda, and Jesus says, "Do you want to get better?" And he says, "Well, of course I do, but I can't get to the water when it's stirred up, and so I can't be the one who gets healed. Only one person gets healed when the angel stirs the water, and it's never me." Jesus says, "Well, take up your bed and leave." The guy takes up his bed and leaves the area, and as he's leaving, the Pharisees and the leaders of the people see him carrying his bed, and they are offended because he's carrying his bed on the Sabbath day. The man who was born blind, you remember the disciples said, "Well, who was it that sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus said, "Neither one. He was born blind so that I could show the power of God in his life." He spits on the ground and he makes clay out of the spittle and he puts it in the guy's eyes, and he sends him on a trip. He says, "I want you to go to the pool of Siloam and wash your eyes out." The Pharisees, the leaders of the people, objected to Jesus healing the blind man because he had to go do something to wash the spittle out of his eyes. Isn't that amazing? That you would care so little about people that keeping your regulations becomes the most important thing. And again, Jesus says, go learn what it means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. So something for all of us to think about. If you need to respond to the invitation, we'd love to help you any way we can as we sing.